The Shawshank Redemption, a 1994 drama directed by Frank Darabont, is adapted from Stephen King's novella Rita Hayworth and Shawshank Redemption. At the beginning of the film, in 1947, Andy Dufresne is sent to Shawshank Prison on the wrongful charge of committing 2 murders. Andy is introduced as a banker accused of killing his family. Once leading a life of wealth before entering prison, Andy loses everything. When he arrives, he is desperate and believes that his world has completely darkened. Andy's first days at Shawshank are extremely difficult. Both the inmates and the guards treat him with cruelty. However, the story takes a turn when Andy meets another inmate, Ellis. Redding is one of the oldest prisoners in Shawshank and has been there for many years. Over time, Redding teaches Andy how to cope with prison life, and a deep friendship develops between them. Andy gradually begins to adapt to a new life in Shawshank, both physically and emotionally. As the days go by, Andy's time at Shawshank begins to change in a remarkable way. He manages to secure a position of clever advantage among the inmates. Andy's expertise in banking and his numerical acumen are noticed by the prison administration. Warden Norton and the guards seek to profit from Andy's talents. Andy becomes a sort of legal advisor for the prison's accounting, which not only grants him a measure of power, but also earns him respect among the other prisoners. Over time, Andy builds close relationships with the prison administration, using them to his advantage. Initially, he is given a kind of favorable status to ensure his work is done properly, but it soon becomes clear that Andy has plans beyond that. His clever schemes transform him from an ordinary inmate into someone much more significant. Refusing to accept the injustices he encounters in prison, Andy gradually discovers his inner strength and begins devising plans for freedom without losing hope. In the process, he also starts giving hope to Redding, who is deeply moved by Andy's determined attitude and begins to believe that one day Andy will rediscover his lost hope. As the film approaches its climax, Andy's plans slowly begin to bear fruit. The moment when Andy starts to unravel Shawshank's underground financial dealings and money laundering schemes marks one of the story's pivotal turning points. Andy uses Shawshank Prison as a means to exert control over both the administrators and the inmates. His goal is not only to secure his own freedom, but also to expose the system's inner workings. Toward the end of the film, Andy devises a daring plan to escape from Shawshank. He finally puts into action the secret digging he has been conducting in the prison for many years. Having successfully created a tunnel unnoticed by anyone, Andy manages to escape through it. His escape creates a huge shock throughout Shawshank. In the end, Andy's escape from Shawshank is not a matter of novelty or revenge, but rather a triumph of freedom and justice. His escape holds significance for both the inmates inside Shawshank and the world outside. After Andy disappears, Redding falls into despair about the prison, but thanks to a letter that Andy had written to him, Redding eventually finds his own freedom. Later, Andy continues his life in a coastal town in Mexico, where he finds both freedom and peace. Redding decides to follow in Andy's footsteps and sets out on a journey to join him.